Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Wow, I did not do my hair for this video at all, but it's okay because it's about the books and the makeup. So for today's video, I'm gonna be doing the book and makeup tag. I got the inspiration for this video from Sam Reads a Little. She did this video a few months back or last month. I think it was a few months back. I really liked her video. I have always wanted to combine books and makeup in some sort of way. I know at Rachel Reads and Sings, she does her Get Ready With Me wrap-ups, and I've always just been inspired by those two videos, and I think that the books and makeup one was a perfect video to start with. I'm super excited. If you guys want to hear my answers to these questions and see how I do my everyday makeup routine, then go ahead and keep on watching. Okay, so let's just jump into the tag. I'm super excited to be doing my makeup here with you guys. I actually used to do my makeup for YouTube. I used to be one of those girlies that did makeup on YouTube, and you know, I just kind of eventually fell off of that because I got more into the natural everyday makeup looks instead of doing those cool colorful eyeshadow looks, you know, the cut creases, the winged liner. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still do those and I still love them. I still love doing them. It's just I only do those for special occasions. But for today's video, I'm just gonna do my basic everyday makeup. I have everything here laid out for me. I really hope that you guys can see everything well. I'm over here checking because there's a mirror behind my phone and I am in frame. I just hope everything looks okay. If not, we're gonna have to refilm this, but I do have my little mirror here. I have my whole setup, so let's just jump into it. I actually, when I usually do my makeup, I do it in the morning and I do it after my skincare routine. I would say I give about 5 to 10 minutes for my skincare to fully sink into my face, because sometimes, and I have made this mistake, if I do my skincare and then immediately jump into my makeup, sometimes the way that my skincare products and my makeup products combine, it causes some peeling and stuff like that. Wow, I didn't even check my hair for this video. But anyways, I am gonna take a makeup wipe though. I use the Neutrogena ones. I don't know what to tell you. I know it's bad, but I can't ever see myself giving up makeup wipes. I mean, I use them less now than I did before because, you know, I have a 1-2 step for my cleanser. But I'm gonna take one because I did my morning skincare routine this morning, but I didn't do my makeup. So I've just been normal faced for the whole day because it's already 5-6 o'clock. So I'm oilier than usual. There's probably dirt and dust all over my skin. So I'm just gonna wipe my skin, do some moisturizer, and then jump into the tag. I just know this video is gonna be so long because it takes me back to my makeup video days, and those videos used to take me so long to edit. Because there's just so much. But yeah, I just wiped down my face. I will also mention some of the books that I'm going to be talking about I actually own, but I didn't want to have my makeup and then a stack of books to show you guys because I didn't want to get makeup on the books for one, and two is just doing too much. I already had to do this whole little setup. So anyways, I will just pop up the picture because that's going to be so much easier. I will be going in with some eye cream. The one that I'm currently using and actually really like is the Innisfree Youth Enriched Eye Cream. I found this at Ross, y'all. It was at Ross and it was, I think, on clearance. It was on clearance at Ross, even though it was already cheap because it was at Ross, but it was on clearance at Ross. And I was you know what, I'll try it because I was needing an eye cream anyways, and surprisingly I love this one. I don't think this one is anything brightening or anything like that. I think it's just super moisturizing because this is the thickest eye cream I've ever had to use. And yeah, I really love it, and a little bit goes a long way, but I love eye cream, especially for under makeup, because it makes my concealer look so much better. And then speaking of Innisfree, I actually found this one at Ross as well with the same predicament. This is Innisfree Youth Enriched Cream with Orchid. So it's the same line of Innisfree, but this is the eye cream and this is the cream. The thing that I was shook about this is a gel moisturizer, but the way that this is the thickest gel moisturizer that I have ever put on my face. I've tried other gel creams, moisturizers before, and they've been very like lightweight gels, and this one is like super thick. Like when you rub it in, like you can feel it, and it's just so hydrating, and I actually really love it. Before I found that one at Ross, I actually use the First Aid Beauty Ultra Repair Cream. This one's super hydrating for me. This is like if my skin is going through it, whether I have a reaction or whatever it may be, or if I'm super dry, especially like in the winter time, I love this. But since I had found this at Ross, and I just ended up starting using it just because, I also love that one, and that one is also very moisturizing. If you have like super sensitive skin, I would say the Ultra Repair, but honestly it's all personal preference. But yeah, this is like the thickest gel cream I've ever put on my face, and it just leaves this like dewy set to the makeup. Now this is the only like skin prep that I'm doing just because I'm not doing this in the morning, but I would have already had all of this done, plus sunscreen, plus serums already, you know? But if I ever do my makeup in the afternoon, this is the skin prep that I do. Eye cream, moisturizer, lip balm, and yeah, this is all I use because I'm not gonna do sunscreen, even though you should do sunscreen if you're gonna go outside. I'm not gonna go outside, so I'm okay. For the sake of this video, I'm just gonna leave it with these 3 minimum steps. I am gonna fan my face a little bit just so it dries down faster. I also always like doing lip balm at the beginning of my makeup routine, just because at the end when you do apply your lip liner and lipstick, your lips are so moisturized and it just goes on so much more smoothly. Okay, so the way that these questions are set up, it's set up by steps of makeup. So I'm just gonna go ahead and answer the questions relating to the makeup step that I usually go by. So I always do my eyebrows first, which we actually have a question for. This one is, pick a book everyone should read. And for this one, I picked It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. For my eyebrow products, I use the Glossier Boy Brow and the Glossier Brow Flick. I use these all the time. I have been using it for years now. I always go in with the Boy Brow first, and with the way that I do my eyebrows, it's all messy because then I clean it up with some Q-tips, which now I'm remembering that I forgot to bring over here. Damn. But I did suggest to do It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey because this is one of my top reads. Like this is in my top 10 of like forever. Honestly, I don't know if it's top 10, top 5. Honestly, it's just one of those books that I absolutely love. It's one of the first books that I gave 5 stars from Tessa Bailey. I just absolutely love this book. This is about Brendan and Piper. Piper and her sister get sent to this small town by the sea where they have to rebuild the bar that their late father owned. It's more of a like a teach me lesson because their now dad, their stepdad, sends them both to this small town so they can like grow up, because Piper is really, she did something that she shouldn't have done, so this is like her punishment. And there she meets Brendan, and he is like the grumpiest sea captain, and he is just a simp for Piper, and it is so good. The relationship builds up, these smutty scenes, the hospital scene, the way that Brendan does the most thoughtful and considerate actions for Piper, and he always puts her first, and how much he loves her and how much he spoils her. And honestly, you guys, I can't wait till I reread this book. I can't wait till I reread it and annotate it and just fall in love with it all over again. I'm so ready. My eyebrows are also like my least favorite part because they never come out the same ever. Like every day I have new eyebrows, and I bet you guys can tell like in my vlogs, my eyebrows like never match. I'm so dead, but it's true. They like literally never match, and at this point I'm just gonna love them for them. And they're not as messy as they usually are, how I usually do my eyebrows, but I always go in with the Q-tip and clean the edges, so I'm about to do that right now. Okay, that's as good as it's gonna get with my eyebrows. Moving on to the next question, it is for primer, is pick a book that has had a lasting impression. So for primer, I don't necessarily have a primer per se. I use this underneath of my foundation, so we're gonna count it as primer. It is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Liquid filter in the shade 3 light medium, and I just literally like apply this all over my face. It's just like a glowy under base for like a foundation. Like you can use this without foundation, you can mix this with your moisturizer, but I like to use this underneath usually a skin tint instead of like a full-on foundation. It might just be a little bit too heavy otherwise. So for a book with a lasting impression, I decided to choose Sinner by Simone, just because with this book I find myself thinking about this book like, you know, throughout the days. Not like consistently, but I'm always reminded of this book and I always think about this book. I guess I'll do this together because I usually blend this out with my skin tint. So for my skin tint, I use the Glossier Perfecting Skin Tint, and I'm going to go ahead and apply this. And there is a question for foundation, but I'll move on to that after I finish with the primer. So with Sinner, Sinner is a amazing book. So Sinner is about Sean Bell. Sean has really honestly given up on religion and his faith in God after what happened with his sister. He is just like not about it. He is at a function where he sees the most beautiful girl he has ever seen. This ends up being Zenny, our heroine. She is Sean's best friend, little sister, and from the moment that he sees her, he is instantly like infatuated with her and wants her for himself. But the issue here is that Zenny is going to become a nun. She asks Sean to teach her everything she needs to know with love and sex and just life in general before she fully commits, because her, what is it called? I guess her church wants Zenny to be 100% sure that this is what she wants. And so she enlists Sean to help her out because they have this chemistry, and Sean willingly, he's already obsessed. He accepts her proposition, and obviously Zenny is in the mindset that she won't change her mind, and Sean Bell is in that mindset as well. But you know, in Simone's books, it never goes that way. And during this, Sean is also dealing with some grief, and Zenny really helps him through that. But Sinner by Simone is definitely the book that I pick for having a long-lasting impression. I love that book so much. It was 5 stars from me. For foundation, the question is pick your favorite first book in a series, and this one was easy for me. I ended up picking the first book in the Stay a Spell series, which is Wolf Gone Wild by Juliette. I don't know what it was about this book. I gave this book 5 stars just because of the way that this book made me feel when I was reading it. I don't know if it was just the time that I was reading it, like I was really in my paranormal spooky era, and just like the tension and the chemistry and that overall build up and the banter between Evie and Mateo was just everything that I needed and more, and I absolutely loved it. I gave it 5 stars. And then the following books that I've read so far in that series as well have been 4 stars or 4.5 stars. It hasn't really hit me like the first book has. Maybe upon a reread, Wolf Gone Wild will probably maybe sit at a 4 or 4.5, but when I first originally read it, that book, I ate it up. Before I tell you guys what Wolf Gone Wild is about, I'm gonna move on to concealer, but I will answer the question here in a little bit. But I do let my concealer set, so I figured I might as well put it on now while I talk about Wolf Gone Wild before we go on to the next book. This is Too Faced Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer in the shade Vanilla. I have been using this concealer forever. It is one of my top favorite concealers. Like, I will always repurchase this, and I always just put it in the inner corner of my eye, and I drag it down the sides of my nose, just like not on my nose but like on the sides, and then I will do here. I always do some on my forehead, and I do some on my chin. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that set. Wolf Gone Wild is about Evie and Mateo. So Mateo has had this problem. He hasn't been able to shift into his wolf for about like 2 months, and so he believes that somebody put a curse on him, a hex on him. So he goes to the best hex breaker, which is Evie. She is a witch. She ends up helping Mateo get rid of this curse, or like trying to find who put this curse on him, who has these bad intentions on Mateo. And during this, he realizes that when he is close to Evie, his wolf quiets down. Because he hasn't been able to shift, his wolf has come forward, which his wolf's name is Alpha. And now Mateo can hear Alpha's thoughts in his head, and you can see it on page. And Alpha is just so funny, and it is such a fun book having this like other character, other part of Mateo in the book. It is just so funny and it is so good. But he notices that while he is in Evie's presence, his wolf quiets down, and so he propositions Evie for Evie to spend at least like minimum 3 hours with him so he can work on his like sculptures, because he is like a sculptor, not with clay but like more like metal, I believe. And so Evie ends up agreeing. So now we have forced proximity, and they are just so good together. There is this instant chemistry, and the way that Juliette Cross builds this throughout the book, it is phenomenally done. I ate it up. I was giggling, I was screaming, I was just swooning throughout this whole book. I loved it. It was so good. For the concealer question, it says pick a character you wish you could get rid of. For this one, I kind of have two. I couldn't really pick one. I mean, I had like 3 of them, but no, there's like 2 that stuck out to me. So first one was the main villains in Archer's Voice by Sheridan. I loved this book. I believe I gave it 5 stars. Basically, the villains of the story are Travis and Travis's mother, and basically kind of like Travis's whole like family, I guess you could say. The way that these people treat Archer for no reason is absolutely insane. Like, absolutely not. Like, why? Why would you do that? Why? And then another one, I would say, I can't really say a lot about the main villains of Archer's Voice because you have to read it. I don't want to spoil anything, but those 2 characters, they can fucking leave. And then the other one that I had on here was Taryn from the Folk of the Air series by Ollie Black. If you know, you know. I am a Taryn hater. I truly am. I truly am. But yeah, definitely Taryn. Like, I just don't like her, and I rant about her for like a minute. I think in my wrap up or like in my Folk of the Air reading vlog. Look it up if you want to see what I'm talking about. But I just don't like her, and I don't like the decisions that she made and how disloyal she was. But that's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to spoil. Moving on, I don't think there is a bronzer question, or there isn't a bronzer question and there isn't a cream bronzer question. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do this real quick. I'm gonna do my bronzer, blend that out, then blend out my concealer, and then we'll move on to powder. So I actually use a deeper shade in the e.l.f. Halo Glow liquid filter. This one is in the shade 5 medium tan. This is definitely not my color. This is why I use it as a bronzer. I just love it because if you guys don't know, the e.l.f. Halo Glow is a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless filter. They also have this really popular cream bronzer, cream blush, cream highlight trio thing going on. But girl, that cost an arm and a leg, and I'm not willing to give an arm and a leg. And e.l.f. really did it for the girls, and it's so good. I love this product, especially if you're a dewy, glowy kind of girl. But basically, because I refuse to spend money on that bronzer, I just end up using the Halo Glow in a deeper shade, and I love it. I do. It blends out just beautifully. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I use a brush for this. I always do the bronzer first, and then I do the concealer. This is so fun. I haven't done like a makeup tutorial video in so long. I love it. I do know that Rachel from Rachel Reason Sings, she's super into makeup, and I love to see it. And she has done like her wrap-ups while she does her eyeshadow. I don't think she does a full face, but I might be wrong. I think she starts off with like some of it done, I think, but she does wrap-ups, and I was thinking of maybe doing that because I just loved that concept. And I already talk so much in my wrap-ups. I might as well do my makeup because it takes equally as long, probably longer, to be honest. My makeup takes forever and I just talk for so long. But I don't know, let me know if you guys think that would be a fun idea. We'll see how this video does. Boy, white for what? And it's just so like beautiful. It's just such a pretty like cream bronzer. I always blend out my concealer with a sponge. You could always go over the whole face. Make sure everything is blended. Moving on to powder, I use loose powder, the Maybelline Fit Me one. This is one of my favorites. I also love the Laura Mercier translucent loose setting powder. That one is so good too, but if you want a drugstore, I don't want to say it's a dupe, but this is my favorite loose setting powder from the drugstore. It's so good. But for powder, it says pick your favorite last book in a series. So for my powder, I have this powder puff, but I'm pretty sure it's discontinued because it's from Tati Beauty. I went on Amazon and ended up getting the 12 pack of these black powder puff thingies. This is the first one that I opened, and honestly you guys, this is crucial for your powder. Let me tell you, I don't know what the fuck I was doing before I bought this. I mean, I was already using a puff, so it was like life-changing that way because they do the same thing, but after like a week use or 2-week use, I'll probably just like throw it out and change it into one of the other ones, like a brand new one. But you guys, this is essential. This is essential for setting your powder. The way that my under eyes don't crease that much anymore, because I don't know what it is about this powder puff. The way it sets your makeup leaves it so smooth, so flawless. It's just a must. I always go in with my beauty blender to take out any like creasing. Also, if there was a lighting change, it's because the sun's going down and it's getting darker. I'm telling you guys, I'm literally putting on makeup for this video. Then I take the loose setting powder and I go right in and set. So Death by Laura Thalassa. It is my favorite out of the Four Horsemen series. I think it's my favorite just because I love Death. Not Death in general, but like Death, the character. He is my winged, morally gray, handsome, beautiful, deadly baby. Ugh, I love him so much. I need to reread the series so bad. I always say that, but like every time I talk about it, it makes me remember how much I love it and it makes me want to reread it. But anyways, Death is about, he is the last horseman. Obviously, you have to like go through the series. Honestly, you could read them as interconnected standalones. Like, I don't think you would really miss much, but I always recommend to read the series in order. Like, I think it's just better that way. There's the build up to Death, you know what I mean? But yes, that we have our main heroine, Lazarus. She has literally lost everything and everyone. Basically, every book is the horsemen meeting their fated mates. They're not really called fated mates, but they're fated mates, and you know I eat a fated mates romance up. This is just a truly enemies to lovers. Like, they literally kill each other, and it is just so good. And the smut is good, the build up is good, the way that they get together is good. It's just also the aspect of how we have these, I don't know if it would be paranormal like beings or like just these magical beings that don't know what love is. They've never experienced love, how they just interact with this person that is making them feel, and their actions and their words and just their innocence, but also like it's like kind of like a hot innocence. And he has wings, and he has wings, y'all. And it reminded me of my Bat Boy era with Alcatraz, and I ate it up. I just absolutely loved it. It was so good. So that's the book that I would choose for the powder question. I just set my whole entire face with that. So there is a blush prompt, so I'm gonna do my bronzer and my blush in the same time frame. I always do bronzer first and then I do blush. So the blush question is pick a book that has a cringe-worthy romance. And for this one I have two. I think I just have these two written down because they're books that I was disappointed in and or DNF'd and or got low ratings from me personally, in my opinion. For my bronzer, I use the Butter Bronzer by Physicians Formula in the shade Bronzer. As you can see, I love this bronzer, and I recently ended up getting like a new one. I mean, I'm still using this one obviously until like it's absolutely gone, but I ended up getting a new one and it's not the same. It's the same name, but it's not the same. This one is deeper, like a deeper shade of a bronze, and the other one is like slightly lighter. So yeah, I mean, it still works for my skin tone and it still looks good, but it's not the same, if you're wondering. I guess it wouldn't really matter if this is the first time you're picking it up, but if you have the old version, just know if you restock, it's not the same color. And they don't have like an in-between. It's just like bronzer and then it gets like a deep bronze. Anyways, moving on. I am getting into too much of the makeup talk. I ended up choosing The Protector by Jodi and Malpas. You guys remember, I did not like this book. I made it so far into this book, and then at some point, even though I was hating the book, I made it so far in because I don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't DNFing books the way that I needed to be DNFing them back then, and I really wanted this book to redeem itself because at the beginning I was really liking it until we got to a certain point. I was like, why am I still reading this? It is just so cringy in some parts. The way that both these characters are so childish and literally have no goals for themselves. It was just so bad. And like every time I think about that book, I think about the wood scene where he like fucks her in the middle of the woods and then he like shows her how to shoot a gun while they're both naked, like right after they finish fucking. And I'm like, this is not for me. You know what? That might be a little bit hypocritical, but I think it's just also the way that Jodi Ellen Malpas wrote her characters. It might just be her writing. I know it was one of her first books that she first ever came out with, so I don't know, y'all. Like, it was just so cringy. Yeah, I really just didn't like The Protector by Jodi Ellen Malpas. It is an author that I want to give a second chance to, but I always just forget, honestly, because there's so many books. But I mean, I'm willing to give it another shot, and I'm more of a person that DNFs now. So if I really just don't like it, then I can just DNF it, you know? Not go as far as I did with The Protector. For my nose, I just take the bronzer and I don't really contour. I literally just put it all over my nose. Like, I just do the bare minimum. I might have put a little bit too much. Anyways, that's fine. Then the second book that I find cringeworthy is Tattered Stars by Cowles. I'm going to do my blush now. This is the Milani Luminoso Baked Blush. And I love blush. I used to not wear blush, but now I do. And I pack it on. So the more the better. This one, I was just very disappointed in. I'm pretty sure I read this for a vlog, so like I had to finish it. And I just found the romance to be so unbelievable. And I didn't like the way that the hero treated the heroine in the beginning. Like, it just made no sense to me. And then like, if like, was it gonna be hate to love? Then make it hate to love. But then he was super mean for no reason. And then the next day proceeded to be like, I love you. And I'm like, how did we go from 0 to 100 that quick? Like, how? And I don't know, like, I didn't really vibe with it. Like, I lost interest super quickly after that whole beginning interaction. I wasn't here for it. I do bring my blush up to my forehead and then I pack it on my cheeks and I do put it on my nose as well. The Luminoso blush by Milani has a sheen to it. I used to be a highlighter girly, but honestly, I'm no longer a highlighter girly. But this blush gives me that like little bit of glow that I really like. I also do blush on my chin. Don't ask me why. I honestly don't know why I put the blush there, but I do. And before I move on to my next step, I am going to take some more loose powder and I'm going to use this on the side of my nose. This is where I bake just to clean up these areas. I also use it to clean up the edges of my bronzer. I don't do highlighter, so I could have just done bronzer and highlighter. Wow, I'm so dumb. Anyways, highlighter. Pick a book that brightens up your day. For this one, I chose Heartless by Elsie Silver, just because every time I think about this book, it brings a smile to my face. I love Kate and Willa. The way that they banter, that's the reason why it brightens up my day, because I can always go back and read their conversations and just read the entirety of the book and I will always feel so much joy. Willa is just so funny. She is such a sunshine and Kate is such a grump. Okay, sorry if there was an angle change. I literally almost had a heart attack because I thought my phone stopped recording. Girl, I was about to throw a fit. I just love that book so much. I honestly love every single one of Elsie Silver's books. All of Elsie Silver's books literally light up my day, light up my world. I will always love her, and just the way that she writes romance is Chef's kiss. Okay, so I guess I will move on to eyeshadow. I honestly don't, on a regular basis, I don't do eyeshadow. I just do my bronzer and my crease. But for the prompt for that, it is pick a book with your favorite colors on the cover. Right now, my favorite color is green. Every shade of green that you can think of, I love. Whether it's a bright green or like a deep forest green, like I just love green right now. Like I don't know what it is about green, but you know, a lot of good things in life are green. So right now, like I said, my favorite color is green. So for this prompt, I chose Blindside by Kandi Steiner. This is a top read for me. It is so good. I'm pretty sure this was my first Kandi Steiner book as well. And honestly, this was so TikTok hyped that I ended up picking it up. Again, I'm gonna do the bronzer in my crease. I will take a little bit of powder though, or like whatever's left on my sponge, and go over my eyelid. I bet my makeup is gonna be sitting and I don't have nowhere to go. But yeah, I just take this in my crease, and I always do it like on the bridge of my nose too, so it connect with my contour, and bring it up and put it in the front of my eyebrow. Don't ask me why. I'm pretty sure I saw like a makeup influencer do it, and I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. And so I always did it, and I always do it. Should I always do it? Does it look the best? Sometimes I think I overdo it, and then sometimes I'm like, wow, it's so good. Blindside is about Clay and Gianna. I am a whore for Clay. Honestly, this book gets 5 stars for Clay. Just him, like literally he is the moment. Clay has just recently gotten out of a really long-term relationship, and Gianna is the PR assistant to the football team that Clay is in. So Clay gets broken up and he's in a mood, and so they have a meeting, Gianna and Clay, because Gianna needs to like clean up Clay's image because he hasn't been the best with interviews and such after the breakup that he went through. Clay notices that Gianna is super shy with this guy that she sees at this coffee shop, that he's like a musician or whatever. He's not the point. Clay is the point. But anyways, Clay comes with this idea that if they should end up fake dating, that way Clay will help Gianna get the musician in said coffee shop, and Gianna will help Clay make his ex jealous so that his ex will want him back. And this whole fake dating scenario ensues. It is the best thing ever. There's the book thing where Clay reads her books and her tabs and like recreates them with her, and just the spicy scenes. And Clay in general, he is just delicious, and I love them so much. And I love Gianna and how quirky she is, and I love her style and how nice she is. You could just tell she's just a kind girl, and she has a lot of ambition, and just Clay and her, like, they work. They just work, and it is so good, and I absolutely love it. I love that book, and it has my favorite color currently on its cover, all over the cover. It's green. And it has Clay on the cover, which is another one of my favorite things. Honestly, I build up my bronzer in the crease until like I'm happy with it, I guess. Sometimes I go overboard, and sometimes I get it just right. I also do this like light shade in the inner corner, which I forgot to grab. I will grab here in a second. But I also take the bronzer on my lower lash line with a pencil brush. Then I just go ahead and dust all the powder away. I will probably do the eyeliner prompt at the end when I do my inner corner highlight with you guys. So moving on, I will do my setting spray. There is no prompt for that, but I do my setting spray, and then I will do my mascara. The reason why I don't do mascara and then setting spray is because I've always had the issue where I will put mascara on, and then I will set my face, and because it's wet, then my mascara will smear. So I always do setting spray first and then do mascara. For my setting spray, I always use the Milani Make It Last. This is supposedly, I wouldn't know, a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. Honestly, I don't know what it's called, but it's the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray. I heard that it's similar. I've never tried it, so I wouldn't know, but this is the setting spray. I don't know about its longevity. I mean, my makeup, honestly, it does work, because one time I went out and I did a full face of makeup. I got home and I didn't take my makeup off, and I literally went to bed like this, and I woke up and my makeup was literally intact. So So I feel like I didn't move out all that night. I was literally sleeping like a mummy, but it lasted all night and it was after the club, so it must work. But really what I love it for is that because of all this powder, of all this like stuff that we put on our face, this helps all of that powder blend and sink into the skin and makes your skin look so smooth and like less powdery. Like it just looks, it refreshes your face, I guess you could say. So I use quite a bit of this, and it's easy for me to use quite a bit of it because I have my little fan, which I put it to the highest setting, and it helps me set my face really quick, and it helps the setting spray like sink into my skin. I know I used to use a handheld fan, the one that you like flap. Those are so cute, and like I low-key want another one of those, but I broke the last one I had and then I got this one because these were super in. Anyways, on a tangent, but I'm gonna set my face and then we'll move on to mascara. I also sometimes take the powder puff and go over it. I feel like this also helps like the setting spray further sink into the skin, and if you press the setting spray in, I feel like it also makes your makeup just last a little bit longer just because you're pushing that setting spray into the skin, and it is just so good. It is just so good. I'm gonna take that makeup wipe that we used at the beginning, and I always get product in my hair, so I always have to take it off. So I'm just gonna go ahead and do that now. I usually do this when I'm gonna do my hair after my makeup. Comment down below if you do hair first or makeup first. I would love to know. I always do my makeup first. Not always, sometimes I'll do my hair first, but most of the time I do my makeup first and then I go and do my hair. I think mostly because of this reason, because I get so much makeup in my hair. Moving on to mascara. I use a lot of mascara, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I use the Voluminous Lash Paradise Primer by L'Oreal. I do a coat of this, top and bottom lashes. For my top lashes, I use the Maybelline The Falsies Lash Lift in Ultra Black. This is one of my favorite mascaras. This is the second time I'm buying it, and usually I like to try different mascaras. I don't always just stick to just one, and I've already bought this twice, so that means I really like it. I really like this for my top lashes. I do about 2 coats. Then for my bottom lashes, I use the Maybelline Sky High mascara. The reason why I like this one for my lower lashes is because of the way the wand is set up, because it's just a skinny makeup brush, and it's very black, and I like the way that it separates and lengthens my lower lashes. And then because I'm fucking crazy, I also take the L'Oreal Voluminous Carbon Black, and this one is just honestly like a regular mascara. The wand isn't anything special, but I like to do this as like my last, like I don't even do a full coat, but like it's my last little extra oomph after I put all the other ones on. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply these while answering the mascara prompt, which is pick a long book. For this one, I actually ended up picking A Court of Silver Flames by Sarah J. Maas. I feel like I haven't really talked a lot about Sarah J. Maas books on my channel. I think I mentioned them quite a few times just because I want to reread the series, and I want to read for the first time Throne of Glass and read for the first time Crescent City. And I do know that Crescent City 3 is gonna come out sometime this year, supposedly. People are still like highly waiting for it, but I want to reread the ACOTAR series before I even jump into any of the other ones. But anyways, I love ACOSIF. Like, it is such a good book. I can't wait to reread it just because it's been about what, 2, almost 3 years since the last time I read it. I gave it 5 stars. It was absolutely everything that I needed and more. It was perfection, just the way that Nesta, like, we get her redeeming story. Like, she gets redeemed because I was one of those bitches that did not like her, especially like in Farah's story, like in the previous books. I did not like her whatsoever. I thought, you know, she was no help, mean for no reason, until we get to be in her head and we get to be in her point of view, and we get to learn what she's been through and why she makes the decisions that she makes. And like, she's not perfect, and she is very like stubborn and mean and thinks she doesn't deserve anything good, and she's like a bitch, but she's like a badass, honestly. And just the way that Cassian loves her, uplifts her, and helps her be the best version of herself, and how Cassian gives her a reason to be, and she's like one of the most powerful fae. It is so good, you guys. Like, I ate that book up and I can't wait to eat it up again. But let me finish applying this mascara. Literally answered that question in only one layer of mascara. But yeah, I used to not use a lash primer, and I ended up picking up this Lash Paradise like base primer randomly. Like I was just like looking at makeup and I was like, ooh, lash primer, I'll give it a shot. And so I bought it and I will never go back. I feel like especially for my lower lashes, I love this primer. Sometimes, most of the times, I'm so messy with mascara, and sometimes, most of the time, I clean it up afterward. Sometimes I get lazy and I don't. And one of my favorite attributes is my eyes and my lashes specifically. Like, I'm truly blessed. They're not the longest lashes ever, but like they're long enough for me and I love them. Honestly, with the way that my eyelashes have been through it and they still grow, it's really it for me. I also love the fact that because I have curly hair, I don't have to curl my lashes. I've never had to curl my lashes because my mascara, my lashes always stay curled. I am always, every time I do my mascara, I think about that and I'm like, wow, I'm so grateful. It's the little things, y'all. I love my lashes to look thick. I also need them to be separated. Like, I don't want clumps, but like I want them to be like black as fuck. Moving on to lower lashes. Mascara is also my least favorite part of doing my makeup, but like it's my most favorite thing to have done on my face. But like I said, it takes forever. Then now that I finished with that, I'm gonna go in with the Carbon Black one. And literally that's what I do with it. That's it. Necessary step? No, but I always do it. I don't know why. So I just figured I'd put it in here. For eyeliner, the prompt is pick a dark and mysterious book. And for my eyeliner, I'm going to be using the NYX Epic Wear Liner Stick. These are my favorite by NYX. If you haven't tried these are so good. They glide on so easy. They're pigmented. They're like not a hard pencil. They're like a gel. Is it like a gel? I don't know if I would call it a gel, but it's just so good. Like it slides right on and it's long lasting. So I use this on the upper lash line. And then for my inner corner, I will do this Aura shade right here. It's like a white pinkish brightening shade. This is from the Tati palette, so you can't get it anymore. I don't know if she's ever gonna come back out with it, but you can literally use any like brightening shade in the inner corner. I always do a brightening shade because I like the way that it opens up my eyes. I honestly kind of just picked a dark book because I don't know about mysterious. I usually just read romance, so I just kind of went with the dark aspect. And this book that I want to talk about, which is Tangled Wires by Lillian Lark, has this sort of mystery to it, which you don't find out till the end. So I feel like it fit the prompt. It did what it needed to do. So this one I actually read, I think last year, and I really liked it. I either give it 4 stars. I believe so. It is a novella. I think if it was longer, I would have given it a higher rating, but you know, you can't really ask for much from a novella. Like, it's a novella for a reason. But this one basically is about this woman. Her father is a billionaire. He came up with the AI system. He actually made an AI, which is our hero. And basically the heroine resents the hero because she believes her father loved the AI, the hero, more than he loved her. And he also left the company to the hero. So she feels some type of way about this, and they have this like romance, and it's very beautiful but also very heartbreaking. Definitely check trigger warnings because it is dark towards the end. I just loved it so much because of what we find out at the end and how much the hero loves the heroine. Ugh, I need to reread it. It is so good, you guys. I definitely think you guys would enjoy this one. You do have to buy it. It's not on KU last time I checked, which is kind of sad. This is where I put the eyeliner. This honestly helps so much just to blend in your lashes, like to make them look thicker at the bottom and like make you look like you have thicker, longer lashes, you know, and it blends it in. There's no distinct line between the mascara and like that upper tight line, I think it's called. Last couple steps, I do a lip liner, a lipstick, and a lip gloss. If I'm feeling matte, I will not do a lip gloss, obviously, but if I'm feeling lip gloss, I will do a lip gloss. It's usually a NYX Butter Gloss, which I will show you my 2 favorites, but usually I do a gloss. Like, I love a gloss. I'm a gloss girl. If I'm doing a matte lip, it has to go with the look. You know, like if I'm going for a look and the lip needs to be matte, you know, it has to be matte. But usually on an everyday basis, I do a gloss, and these 2 are my favorite. But since I use 3 products, there's only 1 prompt for lipstick, which is pick your favorite book kiss. The first one that I instantly thought of was Powerless by Elsie Silver. The kiss that Sloane and Jasper have, that very first one in the truck, if you watched my reading vlog, you know that I literally died. Like, I literally died. It was so good. The build up to it, the reason why it happened, the thing he said before that, the way he holds her, the position that they're in, everything about that first kiss, I ate it up. It was so good, and it still lives in my head rent free. Like that, oh my god, that kiss, you guys, is just absolutely everything that I needed and more. For my lip liner, I'm gonna use the LA Girl Ultimate Lip Intense Stay Auto Liner in the color Keep It Spicy. This is like the 10th one I've bought. This is a brand new one that I had to open. One, because I can't find the other one that I had. I had like literally 3. One for each place that I needed it to be, and I can't find either of them, so I had to open this one. But this is one of my favorite lip liners. I love it so much. I keep looking this way because I need to check that my camera doesn't stop recording. But I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips. I always overline, especially my top lip. The way that my lips are set up, I always do. I love it. But I'm about to lip line, and then we'll go for my lipstick. I always fill in the edges and leave the center blank. For lipstick, I use a lot my MAC Peach Stock. I'm literally almost out of it. That's how much I love it. And I use that in the center. I take my finger to blend the edges out. For gloss, I always am between these 2. If I'm going more for like a nude lip, like a nude gloss, I go with the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Madeline. If you don't have this, I don't think we can be friends. Just kidding. But it is so good. It is so good. It's like a nude gloss. It is just absolute perfection. If I'm going more for like a pinkier nude, like I want a little bit more pink, then I go in with the NYX Butter Gloss in Bit of Honey. If you don't have this, oh, we for sure can't be friends. I'm just kidding. I think I'm gonna go with the nude option just because when I use the NYX Keep It Spicy, it has more of a pinkier reddish undertone. So I'm gonna go in with the nude gloss, but if sometimes I also interchange a lot of my lip liners. There's a couple of lip liners by NYX that are, oh my god, so good. I think they're in the shade Gingerbread, and the other one is Gingerbread, and the other one I think is called Maple Glaze. Those 2, oh, bitch, those are so good. And with those, I usually go with the pinkier gloss because the liner is a lot more brown. But anyways, I'm gonna add the gloss so I can shut the fuck up. Oh, it's so good. Okay, you guys, and that is it for my makeup and all the questions in the book and makeup tag. I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do my makeup and answering these questions. I thought it was so much fun. If you guys like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Go ahead and comment a lipstick emoji. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. You're a real one if you stuck all the way to the end, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.